Hey, what's going on, everyone? And welcome back to another episode of Just My Opinion Reviews. Guys, this is Dope Thief on Apple TV, episode 2, titled Bat Out of Hell. Lamont, what did you think about the episode, sir? What did you think?
It's picking up. A lot of the setup that they did from the very first episode, we got a chance to see it in this episode. It's a lot of chaos. The voice on the phone, Mr. Claw, is giving them hell, and we got a chance to see the daddy, Ving Rhames.
We did get to see the daddy Ving Rhames, and I gotta ask you about the casting here in just a second. But guys, if you didn't know, okay, this is gonna be spoiler filled. Me and my guest gonna spoil it up, down, left, right, in, and out. As if you've already seen it, that is your warning. Subscribe to his channel, Lamont. Subscribe to my channel, and we can get into that a little bit later. Lamont, yeah, this did pick up for me too. Because I want to say like the first 20 minutes or so, it was a bore. It was a drag. And actually, that's not the word I want to use. I just really wasn't that into it. And the tone for me of this show is kind of all over the place. I don't know if I should take I mean, on one hand, we got dead bodies, drugs, and money. But then by the time the episode ends, it just kind of seemed like it was a lighthearted drama. And also, the opening credits is extremely jarring, man. Like, I don't know who composed that, put it together, but it does not flow with the show for me at all. Am I tripping, or am I making somewhat of sense?
No, me and my wife always say one of the ways you can tell if a TV show is going to be good is based on the theme music that opens up the show. If it's a little quirky and crazy, it's probably going to be good. This one has got to grow on me. I can see why they play that kind of banjo-y music because a lot of what is happening takes place in the country. But I think over time it'll grow on you. And like you, the first few minutes of this episode didn't hit me hard. But when it got to the middle and the end, watch out.
Oh yeah, yeah. Same thing with the first episode, man, when they got to the middle and the end. But these guys, Manny and Ray and Manny, have finally realized that, hey man, we cannot do this. They have bitten off way more than they can chew. And they are nervous, man. They are nervous. I'm still frustrated with the way they move around. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, these are just not professionals. They've never been in this situation before. And what I mean by that is, once Ray realizes that they're caught, that Dr. Claw on the phone knows who he is, he's not moving fast enough for me. I would have been on the other side of the country, on the other side of the world in a matter of 6 hours. They got over $500,000 worth of money. It's not like you can't afford it. And what do you need to go pack up for, bro? You can buy you a whole new life. I mean, look, I got some VHS tapes downstairs, and at my mom and daddy house, I got a couple of old FUBU jerseys. But if I got over $500,000, and I want to say they may have up to $1 million, but if I got over 500,000, or let's just be exact, 460K, I'm not gonna be caring about all these little trinkets I got at the crib. I'm gonna be out of there, bro. I mean, they at the beginning, episode 1, they would have been satisfied if the job got them 4K to split between the two of them. They have over 100 times that, man. And he lollygagging.
Yep.
I'm gonna ask you the same question. Am I tripping? Or am I making somewhat of sense?
You're making sense. And I feel like these two guys, the reason why they didn't split is because they feel like they need to get their people to safety. Ray, you got to get Mama Teresa, and Manny's got to get his sweet, fine girlfriend to safety.
Sherry.
But but I'm with you, B. Avery. There's not enough gas underneath their ass. Yeah. They need to be instead of going back to that storage, they should have been gathering their loved ones. And you saw Ray lied to Teresa and said that she won a lottery because he's still trying to hide from her what he do when she already know he doing something crooked. She knows that. She knows it.
Yeah.
He should have just told her, we got in a jam. We need to go. But they didn't. And because they didn't be able, we got a chance to meet Jet Li, who is the muscle for Ray. And we found out kind of how Ray got into doing these things he was doing back when he was a young man, him and Manny.
I'm gonna go there in just a second because that's actually the next question I was gonna ask you. But before that, what do you think about this plan right here? Since we're talking about getaway and not having enough gas in your ass, I would move into a motel hotel for at least 6 months to a year and never leave. I would do DoorDash every day. I mean, just think about that.
You, if you do this, and ladies and gentlemen, I am not saying I've lived a life of crime. Okay, so just because I might be real accurate in what I'm gonna say, you would have to live on cash. You can't have no traces of a credit card, no bank account. You can't have no traces of nothing. You might as well. You're gonna probably have to catch the Greyhound unless you pay some commercial guy to fly you in cash. You're going to have to catch the Greyhound and get all your family there. The issue is going to be Avery. The issue is going to be, you might be able to live off the cash, but can you persuade your family to do the same thing and live that kind of lifestyle? My bet would be probably not. There's no way Teresa would try to live that lifestyle.
The only reason I would say yes is because it's a life or death situation. And because of my actions, I'm putting my loved ones at harm. Like, look, I'm sorry. Because what did Manny say when they was at the other barn and they walked in on all those bodies and then they ended up defending themselves? I know I'm jumping ahead, but when they got in the car and that was about to dip, Manny called Sherry and was like, babe, get out of the house right now. Leave. You can yell at me later, but you need to leave. Ray need to say the same thing to Teresa when he talking about, hey, go to Vegas. Like, look, I'm not selling drugs, but I effed up. Okay. We ran into some money. Some people are looking after it. We need to leave yesterday. If you don't, you're gonna die. You have a chance of dying. She gonna be pissed, but that's what you gotta do to save the life. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to be much more cooperative if you're honest and transparent. You know, and you know, she ain't down here in Vegas. Oh, I left my doggy. I gotta go back to get him, or I left the microwave on, you know, saying something stupid. If I say, hey man, we got some killers on the way, she ain't gonna come back. Give me 50,000 or however the hell amount, you know, and we can go from there. So I don't know. What y'all think about could y'all survive in a hotel for 6 months to a year, not leaving? You know, doing the DoorDash every day with cash. Maybe give the counter person a few dollars as well. Like, hey, don't tell nobody I'm here, and then leave. Y'all let us know what you think. But to address your question, yeah, man, that was a nice house. That was a big ass house some agents had, man. Tell me about that, Lamont, because they were loaded, man. They were pretty important. We found out that those bottles of shampoo was actually liquid meth, and I know nothing about that at all. I think this is the first time in any movie or television show that I saw meth in the liquid form, you know. But they had the money, man. They had the resources. They were pretty powerful. And one question I have for you, or just I guess in general, is how did Ray and Manny meet these guys? What is their relationship? Why are they such more higher up on the totem pole, and Manny down here is, you know, Manny and Ray are searching for scraps? What's your thoughts?
Golly, man, you can't make me laugh like that, man. Before you ask me something
My bad.
with such depth, they living for scraps. You act like they little poor dogs knocking over dumpsters looking for scraps, man. But the reason why they living like this is because Manny and Ray don't have the heart to kill. Obviously, Jet Li and his family have the heart to kill. Hence, he had a secret wall with then a secret vault that had, you got to punch it in, then you got to hit the old school spinny button like you're on The Price is Right to get the bitch to open. Okay.
Right.
That family is willing to kill for whatever they need. And apparently, it appears to me that they met Manny and Ray when they was young, around that, because they keep having those flashbacks to Manny and Ray when they was like maybe fresh out of high school or in high school. And based on that conversation, B. Avery, it sounds like what Manny and Ray were doing was going and robbing Jet Li's competition.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows how Jet Li has benefited from them. But at the end of the day, he didn't give them enough so that they can feel like they bosses, probably because they wasn't willing to kill, nor were they willing to sell drugs as much as they are willing to go somewhere and take from the competition so that they can keep either coming to Jet Li or force them the hell out. But I think that this is a great resource for Manny because that family look like they stay ready.
Oh yeah, they definitely look like they stay ready, man. I'm pretty sure they're going to come back around full circle later on in the season, maybe to lend a helping hand. I would be shocked if they didn't. That may be a little disappointing, but we'll see. Y'all let us know what y'all think of that too. Now, Ving Rhames, I was curious on his role. His name is Bart. He is in jail. It is Casual Friday. He's going around with a blanket, and he's a smoker. Got the cigarettes. This was a damn good performance from Ray, from Brian Tyree Henry. He just let him have it. Like, there ain't nothing in my life that you didn't just F up. I was like, whoa. He was pretty passionate right there, man. He was pretty passionate right there. And I felt so sorry for him, Lamont, when he was going off on his mom. Well, no, actually before that, he was like, you didn't raise me. Your girlfriend raised me. I was like, damn. But even prior to that, man, he's mad that his, I guess, adopted mom, Teresa, is still so obsessed with Bart and, wanting to do this returner. Now, we found out why towards the end. Did you put that together or no? Was that fresh news for you at the end when you found out of his condition? Or maybe I'm wrong.
I had kind of assumed it was something like that because they set it up where they made it look as if Teresa had it. And if you recall the first episode, she needed the 10K.
Right.
And then when we find out that she needed 10K for a lawyer, I was like, okay, so the 10K is not for her, but you got these bills. And if you got these bills and the only person you taking care of is your dog and your son, and neither one of them seem like they having cancer, it's got to be for I guess he's her husband. I'm going to say her husband or girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever you want to call it. And so I kind of thought that was going to be the case. And they do have that whole compassionate release. That is a thing that really happens in America.
I was just about to ask you that, man, how that works. So break it down for me. If somebody is sick, they can get out of jail, or they can just get out of jail to get treatment and they're going to go back to jail, or am I way off?
It just kind of depends. It depends on the individual, their sickness, and the type of crimes they've done. Have they been good while they've been in prison, and the family support and resources. Really, you got to have a good lawyer or connections to officials, and they usually can get this thing to go for you. Where if you have a terminal illness, instead of being in hospice in jail, they can get you hospice at home, basically.
So it's not necessarily a get out of jail free card.
Not necessarily. Not for everybody, no.
I got you. Okay, yeah, man. What was your thoughts on this bloodbath that they ran up on, literally? Before I go again asking you questions and then they'll give you a chance to answer them. It goes to show that at the end of episode 1, where Manny, when they was in the hotel counting the money and the drugs, Manny was like, "Hey, man, this ain't our life. We're not killers. We're not dealers or whatever." It really did show in this episode, man. One of the things I really did like, the highlight here at the bloodbath, is a Ray's reaction to everything. any other gangster, killer, whatever, if you're about that life, you walk up on a dead body, you're gonna just kind of scoff at it. Any cop, for the most part, that walks up on a dead body, they could just, oh, this is just a regular Tuesday. But I really did like the way that Ray responded when he walked up on those bodies, where he walked in on the body that was, in the bathtub with the overrunning water, how he was, hyperventilating or couldn't breathe and was like, Manny, oh my God, when he was getting shot at, man, just his slow reaction to all the bullets flying around him, man. I thought that was just kind of really effective, just to kind of show their skill level or lack thereof. But what was your thoughts on this whole bloodbath scene, and what stood out to you?
Before I answer that, let me say, if you don't mind, let me say one more thing about Ray, the performance that was put on, and that conversation about dad. We got a little bit more insight into why Ray is so messed up in the head. Not only was daddy putting him in the closet to do drugs, thinking that he wouldn't find out, but daddy would beat Teresa and then try to tell his own son to beat her too.
Yeah.
Me.
I can't believe I forgot about that part. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Unless you really, really sick in the head, why are you telling another man to beat a woman, especially the woman you're supposed to care about? So that makes me think that maybe Teresa might got Stockholm syndrome or something to that effect.
Yeah.
That this man was beating you, he was doing drugs, all kinds of stuff, trying to get his son to beat you too, and you were willing to get him out of jail, pay $10,000.
Yeah. Well said, man. That's textbook definition of that Stockholm right there, because that's wild.
Yeah,
pretty wild, right?
And
there.
So that would lead you to just kind of see why Ray got so many issues. He's fucked up. That this is why. But through all that, there still seems to be a good person within him, and he's definitely not a killer. As B. Avery said, when we go out here to the country ass chop house, where you got the good old boys that drive Dukes of Hazzard cars, okay, MAGA maggots. It was brutality all over that house, B. Avery. I mean, I thought I was watching an episode of Saw. I was just waiting for somebody to pop out in a clown face.
You know what I'm saying?
You had cracked wrists. You had axes in hands. You had old grannies in the tub, bloody tub. It was a pure nightmare on Elm Street up in that damn house.
Yeah.
And Ray and Manny both, the way they react to being shot at or having to shoot someone, just let you know killing is not in their heart. Even when their life is on the line, they still struggling. Like the adrenaline is not getting them to what they need to do. You either need to run or you need to fight.
Manny was trying to sympathize. Yeah, Manny made them seem like the victim later on. Like that was crazy. But I'm sorry, keep going. I just had to say that.
No. You good. That was a good place to intervene. I was kind of done with that. I think I'm gonna see where you go next, and then I might chime in back on something else.
Yeah, it is. It's just really I like how you call them MAGA maggots. And when I was watching this, I'm like, these guys are just really lucky and just escaping with their lives, from the hair from their little chinny chin. It was frustrating, but it was realistic, because when they thought that they were all taken down, that one guy was still crawling. I'm like, man, go up to him and knock him out, or make sure you disarm him. And he turned around real quick, let off one more bullet to hit Ray in the vest. I'm just like, bro, that could have been your head, man. And man, you could have left Manny there by himself, and it would have been all over. I like the fact that Manny, he just ran up behind the dude, shot the shotgun. It didn't go off correctly. And, he had to duck back behind the car. And just all these mistakes from these rookies. You know what I'm saying? I did appreciate it, man. How do you feel? Yeah. How do you feel that Dr. Claw found out about Ray? Because he called a cell phone and it was like, hey, go to this address. It's Raymond on 106 Bernard Street. He was like, oh, God damn it. How do you think he found out?
Bro, I have no idea, but the fact that he did find out says that you're dealing with some major international players. But at the same time, if he knew this information, why hasn't he already been to Raymond House and Manny House and handled business there in the first place? It's something that made me laugh was when they got one of the MAGA maggots phones, and and Mandy was like, "What's the put in the password?" And your boy gonna say, "I don't know what the fuck the password is. What should I do? January 6th." And for those of you who don't know what happened on January 6th, that's when the MAGA maggots tried to infiltrate our Capitol, and yet some of y'all dumbasses went back and voted for the man that caused all that. But I digress. And I thought it was funny that, like you said, dude is dragging away with his knee, B. Avery. His knee is shot to hell. He dragging away. And instead of just shooting him from afar, why you got to run up on him, let him shoot you to the point where he shot you so good you've laid out seeing stars and jetliners in the sky and shit like that. You got to do better, guys. And the one thing that I would not have done when this happened, the first thing I said was, if somebody shoot that tire, you ain't no little guy. You're going to have a hard time for getting from underneath that car. Yeah. And what happens, B. Avery? Somebody shot the tire.
Crazy. Do you think that Rick was a plant? That's
a good question, man.
But that's they could trick us, man, throw a fast on us, because if so, he was a really good actor at playing a complete moron idiot. I'm just really trying to think how Dr. Claw found out. I'm just from the he said his daddy said something about him once and Rick was in there. I'm trying to put it together. I don't know, man. I don't know.
The only way Dr. Claw would find out anything is if maybe he's working with somebody in law enforcement. And typically, to run an organization that big, you always have somebody in law enforcement that is working with you. So don't be surprised if somebody in law enforcement is working with Dr. Claw and this international liquid crystal meth organization that's going on.
Right on. Lamont, when you go to Staples, do you know what you can get?
What's that?
You can get staples, printing paper, and evidence markers. I don't know why I just introduced the next plot point like that, but I just felt like it. Lamont, what's up with these cops, man? What agency do they belong to? Who is this cop in bed that can't talk, that is afraid about getting effed and asking about Jack? If I die, don't F me. Every other sentence she talking about don't F me. Who is Jack? Who are they? What is going on between them, man? What are your thoughts, your theories? What you got?
Well, they kind of told you they were partners in on this case. And the way she's talking about Jack makes you think that maybe there was more going on with her and Jack. And it was just funny to me. She's on a ventilator, right? Yeah. And she's having to communicate through the iPad. And it kept auto-correcting. So that was some more of them. That was some more of them sprinkling in a little funny into this mess. Yeah. But on top of, like I said, Breaking Bad having sex with a robbery movie, and then they make a baby that has a little comedy. Now you got a little murder mystery going on top of that, because we want to know who killed the MAGA maggots before Ray and them get there. And again, I'm thinking there's got to be some police entanglement, because did you see the way the Barney Fife's cops was acting when the DEA agents were trying to get information from them? They was acting like it was cavalier for them behavior. They was having their donuts and eating Krispy Kreme and shit. Just another day out here in Ottsville. Yeah. And the DEA agents were serious. I think one of those DEA agents is probably crooked.
I think they are crooked.
All of them? I don't think the one in the bed is crooked.
You don't?
I don't think the one in the bed crooked. I still think the one in the bed might wind up having to help Ray and Manny at some point in time. But she's funny. I like her. Let's keep her around.
Yeah, she is funny. I'm counting on the two males are crooked. That's what I'm thinking right there. But Dr. Claw, man, he's not he wasn't born yesterday. He's like, nope. Come on by. We got some steaks on the grill. My guy don't eat steaks. He's a vegetarian. He knew that Ray was putting the fast one on him, said he's going to go down to this daddy house and pull all his fingers off. Ray probably don't give a crap about him anyway, but I got to know how he's working all this magic, man. What you think?
Yeah.
And you know what? This is how I think as well. I was mad at Ray for opening those garage doors while he was on the phone. I'm just
Me too.
Bro, you letting him know where you at? Okay, he's at some type of storage facilities. You know, you just. I mean, you're in the city in Pennsylvania, so there's a lot of structures like that, but you're still narrowing it down. But like, what was your thoughts on all that? You know.
Man, that was the first thing. I was like, Ray, why are you on the phone with this guy? He done told you your address and all that. And now you making all this noise, pulling up the distinct noises that are associated with a storage unit. Come on, Ray. God, what is you doing? Yeah. You giving Ray Charles a bad name, dummy. I just think that B. Avery, I think that when it comes to Dr. Claw on the phone, he might not be as smart as we think, because if he was that smart to get Ray's address, logically, if someone steals that kind of money, a man like that would know you can't put it in the bank.
Yeah.
You got to store it somewhere, and most criminals or people in that ilk always have a storage unit. Just like when he found the address, the second thing he should have done was go around looking for the storage unit, pretending like he was a cop so he could see where Ray might be having stuff stored at and meet him there at the crossroads, but he didn't. And so as of right now, Ray is staying one step in front of Dr. Claw, but at some point in time, we're going to have to see Dr. Claw's face. And Dr. Claw just threatened to take out the daddy, of which Ray had no problems with him doing that.
Yeah. Did we know what happened to Manny? I can't remember. I'm sorry.
Nah, Manny just dipped. Manny and Sherry, remember in the episode, Ray went to Manny and Sherry's house. They gone. He thought something happened to him.
That's right.
And the minute he got there, that's when we seen the maggots in the Dukes of Hazzard car coming and chasing Ray. And one of the most unique deaths I've ever seen on TV.
Yeah.
They had this guy smashed up in the alley against the 18-wheeler. And Ray got away by the skin of his teeth again. Only to not see Manny anymore.
I was kind of thinking that was Manny in the truck, because why would the person in the truck could continue to drive down like that? Like, I saw his point of view, his POV, bro. He saw two people running ahead. Why don't you hit the brakes? Not only did you not hit the brakes, he's doing the steering wheel like this. I'm like, who did you get your driver's license yesterday? Like, are you 12 years old? That, there was some plot armor right there. I mean, am I tripping? Like, why didn't he stop the car? Why didn't he stop the truck?
You thought it was Manny. Guess who I thought it was?
Who?
I thought it was Jet Li with the secret wall in his house. You know what I'm saying? That's who I thought it was. I thought it was him, but it wasn't. It was just some passerby.
Yeah.
And
that's crazy.
The police got there very quick.
They did.
And Ray should not even have got away. If they would have seen a large African-American male running away from a scene where a maggot has been killed like that, they wouldn't let your ass leave, especially with him bumping up against the black lady, having a flashback, thinking it was somebody else and it wasn't, and she blowing her horn, catching an attitude. Dude, you wouldn't have got away. So that was a little weird. You're not tripping on that one, B. Avery. That was a little weird, but you know what? Yeah. Ray lives to fight another day, and I think Ray lived to finally replace that memory of a Mars girlfriend he had with a new something, if you know what I'm saying.
I do know what you're saying, my brother. Are you saying this right here? Miss Nesta Cooper,
Yes.
Man, who is she?
Cotto, be more careful. Boy, this casting, Ridley Scott, phenomenal.
Yes.
The casting is beautiful, it's diverse, it's energetic, it's witty, it's fun. All things you could say that come from when you have a cast of people from different backgrounds, what it should look like, the end product. Beautiful.
This is true, man. This is true. She is the lawyer. Her name is Michelle. And
Taylor at that.
Yeah, Michelle Taylor. Look, we making jokes about how good she looks and all that, and that's fine. But when we started this recap here, one thing I mentioned is how the episode ended. Like it was just kind of some lighthearted drama. It was just kind of weird. I like their engagement. I like the fact that she was like, "Hey, why do you have that song on your ringtone?" And that was just he needed that moment of levity right there because of all the BS he went through that day. So that was it was cool, but I mean, it was still kind of a weird ending. You can dive in a little bit more if you want, man. But what did you think about this this interaction between Ray and Michelle and the retainer and all that stuff?
I thought it was funny, man. Like, it looks like it's the middle of the night when he pulled up at her crib. She let her in the house, and I'm thinking to myself, why is he coming in your house? And then, I guess she's got a home office there. And he gets in there, and what was so funny to me was how she was talking about the case and the cancer and all that. And he's crying. She's thinking he's crying over her daddy. He's crying because of the shit he's in. Boy, that was funny to me. Like, dude was in tears. He was bawling, and she's eating it up like he is upset about the daddy when really he's upset about all this heartache and pain he's caused. And then she very cavalierly says, this is the part I don't really like to talk about, but I need that $10,000. You're damn right she need her retainer money. But through all that, I said to myself, this will be the perfect girlfriend for him to kind of help him move on. And I talked about that on our first review. He needs a woman that can kind of help him move on and get him through what he's going through. And the fact that she ended on the levity of the ringtone Bat Out of Hell by Meatloaf lets you know that she's versed. She's probably a down-ass sister, and she might can get this man in a better place.
I was going to ask that next. Will she help him get in a better place? And I know you know what I'm talking about. Will he completely open up to her and let her know what's really going on in his life?
He's probably not going to have a choice. If he hires her to be a lawyer, she can't divulge the information. So it's not like he got to worry about her telling anything. And then with her being a lawyer, she can guide him strategically how to get this thing turned around. So I think she'd be the perfect person to do all those good things. By the way, Ridley Scott, if any of y'all listening, y'all can get me and be Avery to do commentary for anything else y'all got going on, because we are fantastic at this color commentary on TV shows.
This is true. These are facts. Lamar, what are your final thoughts, man? What do you think's gonna happen next? And then I got one more question for you after that.
Man, I don't know, man. Like, it picked up for me at the end. I'm already involved and emotionally attached to Michelle Taylor and what impact she can have on the show. I'm very curious to see how the dad is going to help, because based on everything that has gone on with the dad, he might have a moment of attrition, a moment where he feels like he need to do something to help his son since he's messed his son up all these years, and maybe sacrifice himself to help his son get out of hot water. I'm expecting to see those things and dad get out of jail.
Right on. I guess you just answered my next question. I was going to say, do you still want to continue to watch and recap the show, review the show? I'm assuming your answer is yes.
Oh yeah, okay, definitely.
Cool.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, with me, I'm not in love with the show. It's like the first half is always slow, and then they pick it up the second half. You know what I'm saying? So, because I was kind of bored until they got to that Bourne and the bloodbath or whatever. So
yeah,
it does pick up at the second half. So that's good at least. That's
them at the bridge that they was throwing stuff out when they was young, and now they're adults, burning up the A-Team van and throwing out license plates and guns over there. That didn't do nothing for you,
huh? It was cool, man. I just wasn't thrilled. It was, I don't know. It wasn't bad, but I wasn't just pulled in either. I'm just keeping it real, keep being honest. But
yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is going to wrap it up for our Dope Thief recap review, episode 2, titled Bat Out of Hell. What is episode 3 titled? Run, Die, or Relapse. Oh my. And they got a picture of
And
Miss
look who's on the
Michelle right
cover.
there. Yes.
Oh,
yes,
boy.
yes. Should be good. Should be good.
Good.
Guys, we'll be here same time, same place next week. Subscribe to Lamont's channel. Subscribe to my channel. We both will really appreciate it. And also check out all the other reviews that we've been doing on our channel as well, like Nickel Boys, Daredevil, The Fire Inside, Exhibiting Forgiveness, Sing Sing, Reacher, and Paradise as well. Oh, hold on, let me get that Paradise, and also Raising Canaan. We got some Raising Canaan. But guys, again, we just want to thank you so much for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget that I'm B. Avery, that's Lamont, and that's just our opinion. Peace out, and we'll see you next time. Subscribe. Yeah.